I'm here today with Tim Weil, CEO of Navenio Limited, that has developed a remarkable tech that enables accurate indoor localization using smartphones without any additional infrastructure, all based on research at the University of Oxford. Hi, Tim, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Hi, so my own background, I've been involved with high-tech businesses really from the get-go, from a very early age. If I wind the clock back many years ago, well, I did maths originally at Cambridge University. I then moved on to all high-tech companies, have been part of management teams. Moving on, having done INSEAD MBA many years ago again now, to them running various private equity and VC-backed businesses, all in high-tech one way or another. That led me on most recently to joining with Professor Nicky Rigoni, who founded the company Navenio. That was about 4 years ago.
Great, thank you. And how did you identify the problem that Navenio is trying to solve, and what exactly is that problem?
Okay, so I'll break that down into two parts. The first is trying to work out where people and things are indoors in buildings where GPS doesn't work. That in itself opens up a huge potential for helping society as a whole and individual applications in the same way that various applications others work outdoors with the benefit of GPS. The second part is then how best to apply that. Actually, my own personal experience in this case with my daughter actually explains, I think, very well the problem we're trying to solve. My daughter, unfortunately, was involved in an accident a few years ago, recovered well now, but ultimately she finished up in A&E in a hospital. In that hospital, at the point where she was due surgery, they couldn't find her, as simple as that. It extended her stay massively from what should have been 2 days to well over 10 days. That would have been entirely avoided with indoor location technology built into their systems. So I would say it's two things we're solving: indoor localization with that infrastructure and improved efficiency in healthcare systems.
And they did find her in the end, didn't they?
Yes, they did. So she's well and recovered now, thank you. The healthcare she got was fantastic. It was about the logistics within healthcare.
Excellent. So how big is the opportunity for Navenio, both, let's say, both in the United Kingdom and also globally?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, by focusing on indoor location technologies, actually our marketplace in the end is really covering all applications in all buildings everywhere in the world. Just one of those is healthcare and the logistics flow in healthcare. We see that alone is some $50 billion marketplace, but that's just one application of indoor localization. Clearly, it can support multiple sectors and multiple things in just the same way as GPS has solved many things for people outdoors. But as I said, GPS doesn't work indoors. That's where our own indoor location technology comes in.
Great, thanks, Tim. Could you tell me a bit about Navenio's intelligent workforce solution?
Sure. So as I said earlier, the problem we're trying to solve there is really logistics flow in hospitals and healthcare teams, frontline workers in particular. An example of those would be very much porters and cleaners. The problem we're trying to solve there is actually getting the right person to the right place at the right time. By having indoor location knowledge where people are broadly, then there's allocating those jobs perfectly, right person, right time, right place. And we've found by providing that solution, it's doubling throughput of teams. More to the point, it's also helping the patient experience. An example of that, when we covered an earlier question, my own daughter's experience, by knowing where people are, things happen much quicker and the patient experience is much better.
Great. Could you give us a little more color on the model for the intelligent workforce solution in that case?
Sure, but let me just start by saying the key thing we're trying to provide for our customers, in this case the healthcare institutions and the people who provide services to the healthcare institutions, is something which is very easy for them to adopt, gives them a high return on the investment, and always we're looking for something which can give them a sub-1 year payback. Now what that means in practice and how that translates for us is we're providing on a software as a service basis. Each user has a license and there's a fee per user. And we also charge for setting a site up and making it broadly location enabled. It's a combination of those two things we put together, but key to that, of course, is providing a great customer experience and a very rapid payback.
Tim, you've recently successfully concluded a Series A round. Will you be seeking further investment following that round?
We will do. So we will doing a B round, but not until the latter part of 2021. Just to say a bit more on the A round though. So the A round we've closed. Thank you very much to yourselves for investing in the round as well. The A round focus is very much on increasing our internationalization of the business. So beyond the UK into Southeast Asia and the US, and also increasingly now working with channel partners to help us increase our global reach, speed up what's going on. And at the end of the day, it's helping more of the healthcare ecosystem in many more markets.
Thanks, Tim. Sorry to have to ask the question, of course, but what impact is COVID-19 having on the business, and what's your strategy for addressing that impact?
Okay, well, clearly, look, COVID-19 is having an impact on us. I would sort of break that down probably into two things, the internal impact and the external impact. Internally, we have our people mostly working from home. We have some 60 odd people in the business. Some 40 of those are from all over Europe and beyond, deep tech people, data scientists and so on, who actually can work, we found, very effectively from home. So the internal impact we found is actually quite low. People are adjusting to the new way of working, but it's working. The external impact, I would say there's two things going on there. We are overall right at the heart of helping the very thing that COVID-19 is creating, so much increasing pressure on healthcare teams when the healthcare teams themselves are less available. That is very positive for the company and very positive for overall what we're trying to do, but we are impacted in the short term nonetheless by access to people who have been sent, actually a lot of them, to even to the front line to help what's going on. So overall, I would say the long-term outlook is actually very positive. In the short term, we have had some impact.
Tim, what do you think the post-COVID outlook is for your services?
Okay, so I would say that in two ways. Okay, we're increasingly a global business, so post-COVID in one market will be different timing to post-COVID in another market. Plus, unfortunately, highly likely there will be second and third waves. So I think the reality is the COVID world we're living in now will be going on for some time. However, in each market, as they get over the initial primary waves, we can definitely help. It is quite clear, for instance, even here in the UK, that there is a huge backlog of work waiting for the NHS to do when they return to normal, and get all of that elective work, which hasn't been happening at all, or cancer treatment work, or other things which have just been unfortunately kept on hold. That is about to hit the NHS and hospitals as a whole. We can definitely help there as well, because it's exactly the same things at the end of the day. It's how do you get more throughput through with the same amount or even less resource in a quick manner, and where the patient experience is also improved as well. We can help, therefore, we see both pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID.
What are the key challenges the business is facing at the moment, and how do you see these changing in the next 12 to 18 months, say?
Okay, so clearly one challenge is COVID-19, that goes without saying. The other challenge we have always faced and we continue to face is simply prioritization. The deep underlying technology, infrastructure-free, indoor localization, no GPS, no assets required, no beacons and so on, could be applied anywhere. As we do more and more outreach, particularly globally, we're finding that more and more people are interested in how we can help. And clearly we're a relatively small company still, we're Series A funded, we're 60 people, we can't do it all. We're very much focused in this A round on healthcare, increasing global reach and working with more and more business partners and scaling up. But definitely a challenge we continuously cover really is month on month is what are we choosing not to do. That will follow, particularly as we then do B rounds in the future. That's probably the biggest challenge. As time goes on, your other part of your question, clearly as we do the B round, that challenge will go away. We'll be able to do multiple things more at the same time. But I would even say we're working with business partners. We're developing now new sales channels and new partnerships overall. That is new for the company, but even that challenge will reduce as we get more and more experience of working with such channel partners in developing the business further.
Thanks for that, Tim. What are the advantages of being an Oxford University spinout in your view?
Well, aside from linking up with Professor Nicky Dragoni, who's a fantastic asset for the business, there's no doubt about that, and the creator of our deep underlying technology. Look, there are many. Okay, so if I pick a few examples, the investor network, yours included, is phenomenal in terms of adding value to the business. It's linking us with the right partners, helping link us to the right partners, linking us to the right customers at the end of the day, linking us to people who can be very much part of our business going forward, and hiring in the right team and advisors and consultants. That is, I would say, second to none out of all the experience I've had. I think even being in Oxford and being part of the spinout community here, it helps us attract the right people in the first place. So people want to work in Oxford spinouts. They want to work in deep tech coming from Oxford. They want to work with people who are funded by great backers. All of that's has been really helpful, I would say, and just a piece of what the Oxford ecosystem brings to us.
Tim, what's your vision for Navenio?
Okay, so look, we're on a journey. Okay, the end of that journey, if there is ever an end, is very much being the indoor go-to localization support for all apps in all buildings everywhere, literally in all markets. Okay, we're doing one of those at the moment, healthcare, starting off in the UK and moving to more markets, but clearly the deep underlying technology can do many, many more things. We can't do all of that in the A round. Okay, that will follow in the B round and other successive developments of the business. But very much we have the capability, the deep underlying capabilities, and we're beginning to form the partner networks and the overall support system you need to take that to the next stages of the journey and be that go-to company for indoor localization.
Tim, would like to express our thanks from Oxford Investment Consultants and from myself personally for spending some time with us today. It's a great pleasure, as always, to do that, just as it is a great pleasure to be on your board and to see you from the investor perspective. We're looking forward very much to the next chapter in Navenio's existence. And until then, thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Chris. I much appreciate being given the opportunity to say a few words as well. And it's fantastic to have you as part of the team, on the board, and an investor as well. Thank you very much.